The wild card round is officially done. We have all six matchups wrapped up. It was a good weekend, honestly. We did a video yesterday on the AFC wild card. You can go check that out right beforehand. We're gonna be talking about the NFC wild card games today. I was waiting for the Rams Vikings game to finish up before I got really deep into it, but here we are now. We have finished. It was exciting. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and start off with the Eagles Packers game. Let me get this pulled up on you on the screen here. This was a great game. Now, this was, if you guys were paying attention, my Pack Watch game. This was the game. If you guys don't know what Pack Watch is, it's not just because it was the Packers. Pack Watches. I'm going to predict what's going to be the biggest blowout of the weekend. Who's going to get embarrassed, and if it happens, we smoke their pack. It did not happen this week. It wasn't the biggest blowout. It also honestly wasn't that much of a blowout. Now, I will say, if Saquon would have taken that run all the way home, it would have been Pack Watch 100%. But he slid, which, I understand. He's like, hey, I'm not trying to hurt myself. Who knows what happens on that play? The first down was enough. We win. But, whatever. Not fantasy. Bettors everywhere were very hurt by that decision on his end. But regardless, it was a 22-10 victory for the Eagles. They move on. I think this was, at least I predicted this right. The Packers are just stumbling into this game. They lost Christian Watson. Jordan Love was shaken up during the game. They didn't have Jair Alexander. And then you go into this game and everyone's knocking down like flies. You're losing, I believe, Romeo Doubs got hurt. They brought a bunch of defensive players. It just wasn't going to be their day. But they still put up a fight, honestly. There was a point in this game, I think was the early fourth? Yeah, they made it early in the fourth. They made it 10-6 or 10-16. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Packers might be able to pull this out. Eagles were able to play keep away and play some good defense, and people were getting hurt from the Packers side. Listen, again, we're going to go through the offseason. I have a buddy who's a Packers fan. I'm going to hopefully get him on the show so we can chat about what the Packers should try to go for next season. I'm already hearing, whispers of Devontae Adams. I'm hearing whispers, what they're going to do in that end. He's already put out a clip somewhere on Twitter, I believe. I think he interviewed with Kay Adams today, where he was like, hey, it looks like the Packers need a wide receiver, a veteran. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm like clearly opening the door to, try to maybe come back. Which, by the way, with that being said, I think Aaron Rodgers is done. I think that's official. With that being said, I think he's going to be leaving the team shortly. But we'll see. Regardless, you look at the game, Jordan Love, 3 interceptions, and that's the thing about Jordan Love. I really like him. I think he has immense talent. I think he's going to be a good player for the future. He's going to be this team's starting quarterback for a long time. But I think his, Brett Favre-isms show off a lot more than his Rodgerisms, and it's just about balancing that. Matt LaFleur is a great coach. I do not doubt that they'll be able to do that. Get him a couple more weapons because I do like the cast they have around him. Josh Jacobs, excellent running back. That man won me a fantasy championship a few years ago. I'll forever have good words for him. Tucker Kraft came out, and to be honest, last year I was a Luke Musgraves guy. So the fact that Tucker Kraft came out here while Musgraves has been hurt and really solidified himself as that tight end one, I feel good about him. He's very cool. He's very fun. He fights hard. He plays hard. I like him a lot. You look at all these receivers, you have your Romeo Doubs, who's shown flashes to be really good. Jaden Reed is a great player, great gadget guy. He's going to be a part of the offense for a long time. Devontae Wicks, I like him. It's the drops for me with Devontae Wicks. 6 targets, 2 catches. I did not see every single target that he got. I'll have to look back at the game at the All-22 and see how he did. But that's something all season long, and I've been talking to my Packer buddy about it. It's like, hey, Devontae Wicks drops passes. Now, Devontae, wait, what is it? My brain's slowing up right now. But Wicks drops passes, and I'm getting Devontae Adams mixed up now. But he was saying Devontae Adams is a player who was doing this early on in his career. And I won't lie, I didn't watch a lot of early Devontae Adams, so I can't, compare them. But he has said multiple times, he's on that career path. So, he might come out, clutch later. But then you have, backup running back Emmanuel Wilson. You have Bill Melton. You have Chris Brooks, another backup running back. There's just a lot of guys that are getting these targets, but there's no stud. I think Jordan Love needs a stud. Adams would be a great guy. If they can somehow get T. Higgins, that would be a great target too. Or maybe draft a guy in the draft to go in. But we know the Packers. They don't do that. Let's talk about the winning team real quick, though. Whoops. The Eagles. So it's so funny because each one of these teams that won in the NFC, and I'm going to talk about this in each game, I feel like the NFC is wide open. I think anyone can win it for a number of reasons. But the main reason for the Eagles, why I think they could, one, win it, is because Saquon Barkley is a goddamn monster. He's so good. He plays. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder this year. He wants to win the Super Bowl. To like, as much as he says, "Oh, it's all good love between me and the Giants. I have no beef between them." I mean, sure, but don't you want to kind of show the team you played for, who did not offer you a contract, hey, you should have paid me because I'm about to go win a ring. You know, you should have built around me years ago because look what I can do for a team. So Saquon Barkley is this team's engine. But what might bite them is, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts. Listen, he didn't have an awful game. 13 for 21, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. What was his rushing? 36 rushing yards, on 6 attempts. He was the highest averager, or he averaged the most yards per carry, which usually, if quarterbacks are running at that clip, they will be because they have large spaces that they can kind of hit between while scrambling. But Jalen Hurts, I don't know what it is. It just feels like the chemistry of this team is off. You have A.J. Brown getting 3 targets in a game with only 1 reception. Which, listen, you say, hey, they won by 12. They didn't really need him. But at the same time, it's like in the fourth quarter, this was a one-score game. One mess up, one fumble, the ball goes this way. All of a sudden, Green Bay Packers are looking good, and you're not using A.J. Brown. And if they lose, A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline, 3 targets and a playoff loss, that becomes a narrative. So, I don't know. There's something weird going on with this team. And I think it all boils down to Jalen Hurts on whether is he as good as we think he is. I don't know. We'll see as the rounds come on. They got a tough team coming in. We'll talk about that team in a moment, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. Let's move on to the next game because this is actually a game I really want to talk about. So I only got 2 games wrong this weekend. I got the Chargers-Houston game wrong, and I got the Tampa Bay Commanders game wrong. I thought Tampa Bay would be able to pull this out at home. I thought they had a lot of experience with winning a wild card game last year. Baker Mayfield coming off his best year. Mike Evans playing really well. But man, I won't lie. I underestimated Jaden Daniels. This is not a rookie QB. This guy has the composure of a veteran. He has the composure of Mahomes, going down the stretch. And it was so weird. You watch this, the Buccaneers are only able to pull out a field goal, so now it's a tie game, and, Jaden Daniels has this attempt to go win this game. And there's not many QBs when you go into that situation where I'm like, oh, this game's over. The moment Jaden Daniels stepped on that field, I went, I think this game's over. This guy's absolutely going to get them in field goal range, and he did it. Easy, calculated, right on the dot, man. Let's just look at his stats. 24 for 35, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, leading rusher, which, I don't think that's going to be the case all the time. You have Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, who did not play amazing today. This is a good Bucs defense, in my opinion. I think they're very feisty, so I'm not going to bash them for that. But you look at what Eckler did in the receiving game, 3 for 26, and he had that beautiful spin catch. If you guys have the chance to go look at this, it was a spin catch, I believe in the fourth quarter. Austin Eckler caught over Diaby. Is that his name? Let's look right here. Yeah, Yaya Diaby. Also, Hall of Fame name, Yaya Diaby. Love it. Eckler had a beautiful game, and this is why you get these vets in for these teams. And I don't know why we didn't see the Commanders coming. They picked up a lot of strategic, very fundamental position veterans, like a Bobby Wagner to hold down the middle linebacker position. You have Austin Eckler coming in as your backup running back. He's not going to be starting for you, but he's going to be hitting a lot of those side spots for you. You have Zach Ertz coming in to start as your tight end, but you have a bunch of young tight ends able to learn from him. They really set up Jaden Daniels, who already is now you can tell came into this year being a composed quarterback. It's like, hey, we're going to set you up with a lot of composure, a lot of veterans, but we also have a lot of young guys who are hungry and are going to have the energy to play. And they showed it. They had a lot of composure. You had Terry McLaurin balling out. You had De'Ami Brown with a ridiculous game as well. Also, I didn't realize they had the same amount of yards. That's quite funny. And they're passing it around. They have a bunch of guys that they're able to, you look at the target list, man. And that's the one thing about the Bucs. We can talk about them for a second. You just got to get healthy. I think this Bucs team is completely different if they have Chris Godwin, but they don't. I don't know if Chris Godwin's going to come back to the Buccaneers next season. I think they're probably going to try to retain him. Um, they have a good run game. You know, Rashad White didn't do a single thing in the run game, but he caught a couple passes. Bucky Irving played amazing. He's going to be a really good player for them. Um, just go back. If you don't sign Godwin, go get yourself another wide receiver for Baker and just try to run this air raid offense again and maybe improve a little bit on defense through the draft. But the Buccaneers, listen, it was a great season. You have one of your best players injured. You are playing against a team that honestly won more games you is definitely, in my opinion, better than you. This was a weird year where you could be 12-5 and be the sixth seed in the in the NFC, when normally that could potentially get you a one seed. So this wasn't a normal Commanders team this Buccaneers played against. It was a really close game. It was a few mistakes away from the Buccaneers taking it. If I'm the Buccaneers, I'm holding my head high still. We're going to come in the next year. Baker is for sure your guy. He is going to be your quarterback. He has a lot of talent. He's going to play great for you next season. Just go get him some more help, and you're going to be fine. With that being said, let's move on to the next game. Let's get to the last one of the week, which was the Vikings-Rams. And this was one I did predict right. I predicted that the Rams were going to take this one. And, yeah, they won in a pretty dominant fashion. Listen, Sam Darnold, I'm so sorry, bud. You lost, a lot of money these last two games. You couldn't show up against the Lions, which, hey, listen, best team in the league. We get it. Bounce back. You get to go to play a lot of people would assume is an inferior team in the Rams. I did not think so, because I think the Rams have that experience. I don't know what I saw on X the other day or Twitter, but there was a stat just showing what Matthew Stafford has done while he's been on the Rams, and man, it has been consistently impressive. And he consistently shows that he is one of the best quarterbacks to do it, and that Rams-Lions trade, which I'm starting to think that might be our NFC Championship. We'll see. We're gonna do a preview of next week in 2 days, so we'll break down all the games. But right now, a little spoiler. I think I might be leaning Rams against the Eagles, but we'll see about that. But it was a great game by the Rams. Matthew Stafford, consistent, accurate. Only took 2 sacks, but they weren't for massive yards. It was 7 yards total. Played very well. Kieran Williams is a great player. He did it in the catching game too, right? Yeah, 3 catches, 16 yards, and a touchdown receiving. Davis Allen is getting touchdowns. You have Hunter Long catching passes. The Rams have a weird, they have, was that 3 tight ends catching passes on that team? Or 4? Insane. But they have a really good core unit of people that know what they need to get done. You have Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, who are elite. You have Demarcus Robinson, ex-Chief. Miss him a ton. He's played excellent this year. He's been a really good safety net. He didn't do much this game. He caught 1 pass for 23 yards. If I remember correctly, that was a huge catch. He's just another guy Matthew Stafford can just go, hey, catch this ball, make sure it hits your hands, you get to the ground, pick up that first down. That's kind of how I feel like this Rams team is. It's just hey, get that first down. If we can just march and get close, we can then just give this ball to Kieran Williams, our stud running back, and he'll make things happen. If things aren't working, fuck it. Get it to Puka Nacua. He'll get us there. So the Rams are looking great with a nice blowout. And honestly, Vikings, I honestly am taking this with a little bit of an optimistic view. I'm not a Vikings fan, so I'm sure there's a lot of Vikings fans out there that are pissed about this. They can't handle it. They're mad. But I think that this team really showed that they can they have a good team around their in their entirety. The QB position might be in question, but you have T.J. Hawkinson, who had a great game. Justin Jefferson, who didn't have his best game, but still, it's Justin Jefferson. We know what he can do. You have Jordan Addison, who's been playing well. We'll see if that legal proceeding, anything comes of that this offseason. But hopefully Aaron Jones comes back, and then you can get Aaron Jones in the game. Hopefully get another younger running back. I like Cam Akers, but I think you need a younger guy to come in to maybe fill his shoes and give you some spark off the bench. But you have a good core, and I think this game just makes your offseason decisions a little easier. If you would have won this game, say you get to the NFC Championship game and then you lose, the Sam Darnold question would have been way harder, and you would have still not won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? The only way there's only 2 ways that the Sam Darnold decision would be easy. You win the Super Bowl or you lose early. Because then it's hey, this is probably not going to be our guy. We have J.J. McCarthy. we either can franchise tag Sam Darnold and ease JJ back in, and let Sam kind of do his thing and maybe try to trade him next season for a team that either has an injured quarterback or is just looking for a guy. You can do that with Sam. You can just let him walk if you want. But now you don't really feel that pressure to have to sign him to a massive deal, which I think would have been a mistake. And I think these last two games have shown it because he's once again turned back to his, Jets, 49ers, Panthers self these last couple of games. But I still think Sam has a lot he can improve on, and I think he can still find a home. He's still young. I mean, how old is he? He's 27? How old is he? Yeah, he's 27 years old. So dude, he's a QB, he's 27. He can still have a, late career like a Geno Smith and, get a nice little 3-year deal with the team. I think that's possible. It's just not going to happen this year. Even though he set himself up good for it, I don't think it should. Who knows, though? The Raiders could do some dumb shit and go sign him. That's a Raider move. But I think what's most likely going to happen is Sam's going to get franchise tagged or sign a 1-year deal back with the Vikings. Maybe start for them at the beginning. If he gets a little hot, or if he has, he plays okay, then you go test out what his trade market is. Maybe try to go get some form of pick from a team that needs a QB that got someone hurt and is looking to win. Throw them Sam Darnold as a rental and get yourself a pick, and then let JJ, usher in that era. I think that's the move, but we'll see what happens. Regardless, I'm happy that the Rams were able to get a win because of all the fires in Los Angeles. Hope everyone down there is okay, and is finding some solace in the awful situation that is. I hope everyone's all right. I know my family lives in SoCal. Luckily, they live a little more south than LA, so it's not super affecting them, but it's still very scary. So prayers out to all of y'all. I'm happy that the Rams could get a win this week. And honestly, if you guys don't know, in my predictions video, I did Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl, but my preseason Super Bowl pick was Rams Chiefs. You can check that out on my Twitter, which is Highballshow at Twitter. Just go on over there. I tweet a bunch about sports. And I have that tweet up. It's pinned to my page. Was Chiefs over Rams. And I put a $5 bet on it at the beginning of the season. So it's looking good. This Rams team's really good. They're playing the Eagles next week, so one of them's gonna have to move on. And we'll break that down a little bit more in a couple days. But yeah, man, it was a great wild card round. I loved it. I'm excited for this divisional round. We're chocked up full of really good matchups. Again, we'll be back Thursday afternoon. We'll have the video for the divisional preview. And then remember, Saturday, 1:30, we are going to be streaming our Chiefs' first playoff game, which I cannot wait for. We're going to be going up against the Houston Texans. It's going to be a good game. I'm excited. Swing by. It's going to be live here and live on Twitch at the Highball Show. Links in the description. Everything's down there. Regardless, thank you guys for coming by again. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Let me know who you think is going to be moving on next week. I want to hear your guys' thoughts before I get this video out. I like the bannering. I'll try to read all the comments. And yeah, man, appreciate you guys coming by. NFC wildcard, AFC wildcard, first round went well. Let's see what the next round gets for us. All right, y'all. Stay high. Peace.